Welcome to Sofa Bits, and welcome to Boss Battle, the trivia game show where two contestants face off against each other, and the boss. But before we start these action-packed trivia duels, we first need to learn how Boss Battle is played. So strap in, folks, because it's time to tutorial! And to say all the important stuff, I'm going to send it over to Nick.
Okay.
Ha ha!
Okay, so overall, Boss Battle is pretty simple. It's basically a game of survival with trivia as the weapons. Two contestants are going to be taking turns answering questions from the boss, a unique character centered around a gaming franchise. Now, players and the boss will all have a health bar. Each player is going to start with 10 health, and the boss will start with 20. When a player answers a question right, it will deal damage to the boss. Answering them wrong, and that player will be taking the hit. And of course, like in all video games, if a player's HP reaches 0, then they are defeated. Same is true for the boss, but something else happens when the boss gets down to half of its HP. As long as it is above, players cannot be dealt lethal damage from the boss. They cannot be knocked out. But when the boss is taken down to half of its health, it becomes enraged. Now all damage from the boss is doubled, and the damage is lethal. The game is going to end when either the boss is defeated or when the boss defeats both contestants. And players will be crowned the winner of the episode if they are either the first to defeat the boss or survive longer than their opponent. And that's the basic premise of Boss Battle. Now let's break down a turn and see it all in action. On a player's turn, the boss is going to ask them a question. A little action panel is going to come up and give the player 3 options: attack, defend, or item. First, let's talk about the attack action. This is simply the player saying, "I would like to answer the question." The player is going to say, "I would like to attack," and then say what their answer is. If they get it right, they're going to be dealing 1 damage to the boss. Getting it wrong will see them take 2 damage, 4 if the boss is enraged. Now, if a player doesn't know the answer, they can choose defend. The player will not answer the question, but they will have to take half of the damage from the boss. This is a way to conserve a player's health and maybe survive another day if you're uncertain. Finally, before choosing attack or defend, the player can choose the action item. In Boss Battle, players are given 3 items that can be used once per game. The first item is the potion, which is very simply healing the player for 3 health. The second item is the risky dice. This item doubles the damage for the turn. So if a player gets a question right, the boss will be taking 2 damage. Getting it wrong, and that player will be taking 4. Additionally, if you use the risky dice while the boss is enraged, the player gets to deal a boosted 4 damage to the boss. But getting it wrong will see the player take 8 damage. Now the final item is the pass. This item passes, or gives, the question to the opponent. This can be a very strategic option. Giving questions to your opponent can put them on the back foot, or save you from certain peril. And that's about it for a turn. Players will continue until one is left standing, be it contestant or the boss. We can't wait for you all to see the first episode of Boss Battle, so stay tuned and subscribe to Sofa Bits to see when it goes live. And now I suppose I'm done, so I'll send it back to you, Mr. Announcer Guy.
Thanks, Nick. I was not paying attention, but hopefully you were at home. Be sure to tune in next time for the game show where it's slay or survive, eliminate or endure, victory or vanquish. Get ready for Boss Battle!